Shalom.
First and foremost, we give all praise and honor and glory
To Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, by Shem Rakakadash.
We give the spirit of respect. Yahweh in the name of the Heavenly Father. By Hashem, meaning in the name of Yahweh Shai, in the name of Yahweh's only begotten Son and our Lord and Savior. Also, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. By Hashem Rakakadash, meaning in the name of the Holy Spirit. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, which are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All right, true biblical Israelites and the Lord's chosen people above all nations upon the earth. All right, because the Lord does have a chosen nation of people, a chosen race. All right, you know, and that's you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All right, you know, and like we always show, you know, if you see yourself on this chart, all right, you know, according to biblical prophecy, according to history, you know, you are. These are people who are the Israelites in today's society, all right? You know, not the people over in the land of Israel, you know, claim to be, you know, the Israelites or the true Jews or whatever the case may be, all right? Those are imposters, all right? And the scripture says, you know, that there will be a nation of people that would claim to be Israel, or claim to be Jews, and they're not, all right? You know, there was a nation of people that would take over our land, you know, in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, I believe. Matter of fact, let me get that right quick. Salakia. I think it's Ezekiel chapter 38. Or it might be 36. Yeah, it's Ezekiel chapter 36. All right. It says, I'm going to start at verse 1. I'm going to go through it real quick. You know, this is Ezekiel chapter 36, starting at verse 1. It says, also, thou son of man, prophesy to the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Therefore, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen. All right? You know, and this is talking about the land of Israel. So the land of Israel has become a possession to the residue of the heathen. All right, who's in that land right now? All right, you got the small hats, 1948ers. All right, and then also you got Ishmael. All right, the Arabs. You know, over there fighting over that land and whatnot. That's neither one of theirs. All right, it's our land. You know, so it goes on to say, it says, and you are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh to the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen. All right, pay attention to what it says next. And against all Idumea. All right, Idumea is just another name for Esau Edom. So that lets you know who has taken over their land right now. All right, those are not the children of the Lord. Those are Idumeans. Those are Edomites. That's Esau. All right, you know who the Lord said He have indignation against forever. All right, he ain't dealing with those people, man. You know, those are our enemies that have taken over our land. All right, it says which have appointed our land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, and unto the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I have lifted up my hand, surely the heathen that are round about you shall bear their shame, all right? You know, so they're ultimately going to be judged. You know, and you can read about that in Ezekiel chapter 38. So, according to prophecy, you know, that land, you know, it has to be cleansed, all right? Because you have nothing but abominations that's taking place over there, all right? The Holy Land, all right? You know, they over there goddamn doing pride parades, right? You know, all of that. You know, stuff that the Lord clearly said He hates, all right? Stuff that the Lord clearly said don't do. But yet these are the children of the Lord. All right, these are true Jews and true Israelites. Hell no, man. All know, if you want to take the video down, fuck you, YouTube, take it down. I don't give a fuck, man.
Yep,
It is what it
because
is.
yeah,
You
because
know?
that's what they start saying. If you be quote unquote anti-Semitic, matter of fact, I had a video about that, and then they promote the taboo, man. You know, they talk about in the Sanhedrin that you could have sex with a 3-year-old little girl. You could sodomize a 3-year-old little boy. But these are the so-called Jews, right?
Right. These are children of the Lord, right? You know? Come on, man. Let's be real. You know,
And you could perform homosexual acts on a 3-year-old little boy.
right, it's crazy. You know, here it is 2026, and you got a lot of these Israelites out here still believing that those are the Israelites.
And you got these Christians that actually think that those are the true people.
Right.
But they don't look into the history. They don't look into the Kabbalah. They don't look into the Talmud. They don't look into Tucker Carlson and
they don't
what
look at prophecy. Because prophecy, you know, where clearly, you know, disproves the claims that they're children of the Lord. All right? You know, they didn't go through the curses at all. All right? You know, the scriptures tell us that the true Israelites will be placed back in the land. All right? The Lord will place them back in that land. Those fucking 1948ers, they went to the land of themselves. The Lord didn't put them there. So that's another strike against them, man.
Yep.
You know, 1948, that wasn't prophecy being fulfilled. You know, there wasn't the Balfour, what's it called?
The Balfour Declaration.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the Rothschild.
The
He did
Rothschilds, the
that.
Rockefellers, they created that. You know, they tried to pretty much, you know, create prophecy and make prophecy fulfilled. But that wasn't prophecy being fulfilled. You know, that was just them going back to the land. All right, the Savior, the Lord, is going to place the true children of Israel back in the land. All right, you can read about that in Isaiah chapter 14. You know, so I just wanted to bring it out. I'm not going to dwell on that too much. You know, I just wanted to show you that, you know, for you newer listeners out there, that the true children of Israel is not those people over there in the land, man. The true children of Israel are those that you see on this chart right here. All right, we're the ones that fit prophecy. All right, you know, we're the ones that fit the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. All right, starting at verse 15 through 68. All right, we're the ones that fit those curses, man. We're the ones that's out here, having an evil eye towards our brothers and whatnot. You know, because you rep one block and I rep another. You know, you want to kill the other brother. We the ones out here having single parent households and all that. You know, these are all the curses that will come upon, the children of Israel.
Yep, for disobeying the Lord.
You know, for disobeying the Lord, man. You know, and it will behoove you Israelites, to get right now. Because, the Lord, He's not going to put us through captivity again, man. This is the last captivity. And those of you Israelites that don't want to get it right, the Lord is going to completely do away with you. You're going to be destroyed. Right? Because the punishment for being disobedient to the Lord, will be us as a nation going through captivity. All right? But according to prophecy, this captivity is the last captivity, all right? Which is the Roman Empire, right? And America is just a continuation of the Roman Empire, all right? And this is the last captivity, all right? So Lord, He's not going to, have us be in subjection to another nation of people.
Nope.
Right? The world that's coming is going to be the other nations in subjection to us. All right? That's how it's going to be. The scriptures talk about how Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. You can get that right there.
Oh, yep, I got you.
Second Ezra chapter 9. Because that lets you know that we are at the end, man. Esau will be ruling this current world at the end of the world. All right? And who you see ruling right now, you see the so-called white man in power. The so-called white man is who biblically, who you know as Esau Edom. All right?
Second Ezra 6 and 9.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's chapter 6.
All right, this is Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The man,
I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, yeah.
We want to be straight to the point right there, But if you read verses above, it's pretty much Ezra's asking, what will be the signs, of the end of this current world and whatnot. And pretty much, one of the signs of that, Esau is the end of the world. He will be in power at the end of the world. So, and we see that right now. Esau is ruling the world, man. The scriptures say that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked in Job chapter 9 and verse 24. And the wicked, according to the scriptures, is represents a particular nation. Esau and Edom. You can read about that in Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. It's like chapter 1 and verse 4, I believe. Chapter 1 and verse 4. You know, Esau is the border of all wickedness. All right. So there's a particular group or a nation that's considered the wicked. That's Esau, Edom. All right. Job chapter 9 verse 24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. But going back to 2 David chapter 6 and verse 9, Esau is the end of the world, letting you know that he will be ruling at the end of the world. All right. But directly after that is going to be our world. All right. The world of Jacob. All right. The 12 tribes of Israel. All right. There's going to be no more captivity after that, man. This is the last captivity, and you Israelites that don't want to get your act in order, you just gonna be destroyed, all right, in various forms, all right, because you got famine that's on the way, all right, you got World War III on the way, you got a draft. A lot of you YNs out there, you're gonna be drafted to World War III, all right. You're gonna get real acquainted to the guns that y'all like, man. Y'all like to walk around the earth, toting guns and toting guns and little purses that you wear. You call it a man bag, I say it's a purse.
Yeah, this is a shame, man.
It is what it is. It's a purse, man. What the fuck you walking around with a bag for? You got pockets. Here it is. You niggas getting in shootouts, and you gotta unzip your purse and pull out your gun. You like a faggot, nigga. Come on now. This is why the war got to do away with a lot of you people, man. A lot of these men are fucking effeminate, trying to make excuses for wearing a purse. Oh, it's a man bag. Ain't no wrong. It's a purse, nigga.
They wearing dresses.
Wearing dresses, man.
Painting their nails.
Man,
then they want to justify their women painting their nails for them. Like, come on, man.
Everything's out of whack. It's off course. But see, this is how you know we at the end, because what did the Lord do the first time? Everything was off course, and the Lord brought a great flood.
And then the scriptures talk about how in Ezra's and how it's gonna be a shortage of men in these last days, and a lot of them gonna die, whether it be through they woman.
You can actually get that.
I think that's in yeah.
Or it might be 16, 15 or 16. But it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a shortage of men. A lot of you effeminate, YEs that want to walk around the earth. You can't control your emotions. When you think that's fucking masculinity, the Lord's gonna kill you, man. You gonna get exactly what you want.
And shoot, it could be. And shoot, when you think about it, when it comes to these women that are caught up in the Democratic and Republican, the divide and conquer. I don't know if you heard, it was this Edomite. She seemed like a liberal too. She basically talked about how you could kill a person with the sir. I'll just say syringe. Yeah, she said just put a needle and then a syringe, basically, in which, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what happened during the 19. And truth be told, brothers, it's going to be a lot. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be a lot of women that, whether you pissed them off in a relationship, whether they thought you was a Republican and they didn't like you, or you made them upset, they felt some type of way, a lot of them are going to use that. And I'm telling y'all, in these last days, a lot of men are going to die in these last days, man. Basically, those that don't got Yahweh Shem Shai rooted in them, a lot of them are going to die, man. Whether it be through war, famine, through these witches, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of what. And, let me prove that. What was it? I think it was 2nd Ezra 16 and 36. Or it was somewhere in there. Let me find it. I don't want to butcher it. All right, let me make sure. I'm at 15 now. I think it's 16:36. It gotta be somewhere in there.
It might be like 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 34 or something like that.
I think, is this it? Okay, let me read it up. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and 33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish in famine. Hear now these things and understand them, ye service of the Lord.
So you coming to a
Yahweh.
time, where there's gonna be a shortage of men, all right?
A lot of them gonna die, man.
If they don't perish from the famine, they're gonna perish in the war, because a famine is coming. There's gonna be a lack of food, but most of these men out here, they're gonna perish in the wars, man.
Yep.
It's gonna be race wars.
And through this division, a lot of these women going, because I remember back during the during the not in the Salaki, during the elections when these women, they got mad because the men voted for Donald Trump. This woman said, put this drink aqua tofana in that man's drink. And don't think for one second that they won't do that. Because I'm telling y'all, in these last days when shit gets real, no food, no water, when they get rid of the dollar, you could expect a lot of that. And you best believe it was 100 thousands of, like, that got like what, 500,000 likes or 1,000,000 views. So you could just imagine what's gonna happen, when shit hits the fan, man. For real.
And then, like, I ain't even gonna get into the political shit.
Yeah, no, because it's all about the division. Yeah.
But like a lot of men, they didn't even vote for Donald Trump.
Exactly.
When you look at the statistics, a lot of men actually voted for Kamala Harris.
Right.
Either one, it's pretty much the worst of the two evils.
Exactly,
or the lesser of two evils. Both of them fucked up, and at the end of the day, World War III is still gonna pop off no matter who was gonna be in office.
Exactly.
America is still gonna be destroyed regardless of who was in office.
Exactly.
But point being, a lot of men didn't even vote for Donald Trump.
Exactly. They've been programmed to think that Trump, that was the whole but it was set up that way so the men could get killed. It's set up that way. And that's the point that I was trying to make. Through this political turmoil that we see going on right now, the Epstein files, all that is a distraction, man. Because while they got us thinking, while they got us caught up in these Epstein files, man, look at what your government is doing, man. Man, they're getting rid of your First Amendment rights. You know what I'm saying? They talking about if you teach anything against the government, or if you're so-called quote unquote anti-Semitic, they said that now they're gonna throw you in prison for that, man. Matter of fact, I don't want to butcher it.
I'm gonna get this scripture they talk about. They talk about political turmoil.
I think that's in Ezra's too.
Was it GNT?
Yeah. I believe that's 2nd Ezra 16, and I want to say about 13 or 14. Yeah.
Because what you're saying right now is exactly what's taking place.
And they're playing off people's emotions. Like, you got Nicki Minaj trying to play both sides, talking about it's a satanic. Man, we know back in 2012 all the rituals that you was doing. I mean, come on now. I mean, we know that you sacrificed Whitney Houston, and then on top of that, we know that you be doing upside down cross concerts with Lil Uzi Vert, and you got a demonic spirit entity, left-handed side spirit called Roman. Come on now. But see, they got to play both sides. They got to play off the people's emotions. Just like the Super Bowl, you got Bad Bunny wearing a dress and, you know what I'm saying, wearing lipstick and drag. But why are they doing this? Because they got to play the emotions off the Republicans and Democrats so they can push this civil war, man. All right? Because they're playing the emotions off the people, okay? Because we all know, alphabetism, that alphabet lifestyle. We know that's wicked in abortion. But we know that they're doing this because they're playing off the emotions off the people. Just like when Trump put out that of Obama and Michelle, but y'all know what I really mean. But the reason why Trump is doing that is he's trying to stir turmoil and he's trying to distract the people, man. Because what's really about to happen is they're finna usher in this AI, man, this artificial intelligence 15-minute city world, man. That's going to happen, man. And you're not going to have any privacy, man. Okay? Government's going to have access to your data and everything, man. It's going to be a complete utopia society, man, that they're trying to create, man. But see, what they're doing, man, is distracting the people with the Trump and the Democrat versus Republican. Okay, because it's all about order out of chaos, man. You know, going into what Albert Pike and them is saying, man. They want to create that chaos, man, and they want to distract the people. Because I don't know if y'all been hearing about what's going on in India. They talking about this disease X. And now they're saying it's a Nipah V. Rus. And now they're claiming that it's spreading throughout India. And they claim that it came from a bat. Well, that's what they said. Another one that came from a bat. But see, Esau knew that he had to come up with a distraction so he could come up with these another demic and come with draconian measures in the shutdown of this ministry, man. Okay, because that's what they're doing, and they're taking away your First Amendment rights, man. Why hasn't nobody said nothing about what Creamer said? He said that he wants to take away your First Amendment rights, man. See what I'm saying? The important stuff that we need to focus on, man. And then on top of that, man, during the Olympics, man, they showed the upside down Baphomet pentagram showing the Ark of Baal, man. Okay, because if you read the scriptures, you know, and if we got time, brothers and sisters, we'll go into it, you know, quickly. But if you go into it, brothers and sisters, they were doing child sacrifice, man. They were sacrificing to their Lord Baal. So they're letting you know who their God is, man. All right, because the last Olympics, what did they show? They showed the Lucifer as the rising at the top at the last at the last Olympics, I believe, and they showed that Lucifer was the god of this world, and then they showed that Olympics where they showed a a a a, demic is coming, and they showed you a preview of that mass ritual that they did on the whole world, man. But see, nobody said nothing about that either, man. And then on top of that, man, you have Trump is now building what he calls the triumph. What do you call it? The triumph arc, man. But which we know to be, which is really the Ark of Baal, man. Okay, what a lot of people don't understand, man, is that it goes back to child sacrifice, man. Matter of fact, let me just get the video.
That's crazy. Like, it's crazy that you just mentioned sacrifice. I was seeing where Super Bowl champion Barry Wilburn just died in a house fire on the day that Super Bowl.
Oh wow!
Come on,
hey, that's the spirit, man. That's crazy, man. But that's a sacrifice. That goes to show you, man, that if people want to get this fame and fortune, you want to be at the top, they got to sacrifice people, man. This is how they get their fame and fortune. But the Bible speaks against that. Matter of fact, we might as well get. Let's get 1 Kings 16 and 32.
Yeah, let me read this first, but I didn't get to.
Oh yeah, the political turmoil. All right, go ahead.
This is 2 chapter 15, starting at verse 14 in the GNT, and it says, "The world and the people in it are doomed.
Yep.
The war that will bring their destruction is very near."
Now,
so it goes to what we were just saying, man. War is coming. All right, World War III. That's the ultimate war, but also you're gonna have little miniature wars, race wars,
yep,
stuff like that.
And
political wars, political turmoil, all that.
It's like, I mean, cut you off. Think about what Joe Biden said back in 2020. America is doomed. Do you hear me, black people? America is doomed. It's doomed. And you black people, y'all are going to have to start working more with the Hispanics. And they're going to make up this country is going to be minority, white, European. Do you hear me, black people? He was talking specifically to us, man. And what were we doing? We was just sitting like, oh, what did Biden say? What? He was telling you back then, America is doomed. What more do you need, man? I mean, come on, man. But see, man, I'm telling you, man, a lot of these people, man, they don't care about what's going on, man, because they want to get caught up in the world, man. You know, that all they care about is what the celebrities got going on or what the Super Bowl is, man. They don't care about that World War III is coming, man. That the famine of the word is about to happen, man. And they're going to take, the men off the streets, man. for teaching the truth, man, and that they're gonna take away your first right amendments and that martial law is coming.
So this is it says nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. It says there will be great political turmoil.
That's right.
With one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government.
Exactly. Ignoring the legitimate government, man. All right, because go ahead.
There will no longer be free access to the cities.
See that there will be no longer free access to the cities. 15-minute cities, anybody? But go ahead.
Verse 18 says, because the struggle for power will bring destruction,
Yep,
terror, and total confusion wherever people live.
and that's exactly what they're doing, man. Just order out of chaos, man. All right, because I'm telling y'all, man, when that's what they're doing, man, with this, the Republicans and the Democrats, man. All right, they're playing their role, man, because all of them are a part of the secret societies, man, that they're man. All of them are a part of the club, man. You know what I'm saying? You and I ain't a part of the club, man. But see, that's why they gotta, that's why with the right, they know that to trigger them, they gotta promote abortions in abort shins, and then they gotta promote Moism, man, or transgenderism, man, to trigger the right. And then to trigger the left, they got to do things like what happened out in Minneapolis with the so-called Renee situation. See, or call Obama what Trump did, because they're playing their roles, and then they got to roll out the Epstein files, right, to trigger the Republicans. But do you see what they're doing, folks? They're causing a political turmoil, all right, so they can create that order out of chaos and start a civil war, man. The civil war is coming to Babylon, America, soon, man, whether you think it or not. It's coming very soon, man. That's why we're telling y'all, man, to get right with the Lord, man. Because very soon, man, we ain't gonna be out here too long to be telling you this, man. Because now with these draconian measures, they're gonna say if you read certain scriptures, then you gonna be thrown in prison. You know what I'm saying? Or it's gonna be considered criminal if you speak against the small hats. You see what I'm saying? And those things actually were said. Now, if we got the time, brothers and sisters, I'll show you, that video. But go ahead, if you had any more.
Yeah, I'm gonna read verse 19 and we can continue. So it says, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 19 in GNT. It says, driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions.
That's what's getting ready. And see, that goes to what I was talking about with the when that woman said, give aqua tofana. See what I'm saying? Don't think that ain't gonna happen, man, because a lot of that is going to take place, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Not only are they playing off the emotions of the people, but a lot of people are going to be unaliving themselves in these last days. That's why I tell y'all, we ain't just saying this, man. All right, we're going according to what the scriptures is warning you and telling you that these things will happen, man. It's gonna be a lot. Listen, man, people gonna be eating their children. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be cannibal. People gonna be eating their children. People gonna be eating their family members. People gonna be killing and you know what I'm saying, shooting each other. All right, and especially when they get rid of the dollar, that's when they really gonna go crazy, man. But see, these things are getting ready to happen, man, very soon, man. All right. When there's no food and no water, they're just gonna revert to eating people, man.
People gonna become very, unhinged.
They're gonna be savages in that day.
You're gonna see the beast-like nature of a lot of these people, man. It's gonna be pretty much every man for themselves type stuff.
It's gonna be all-out purge too, man.
We oftentimes like to reference that movie, Leave the World Behind, man. It's like people that you was once friends with.
They're gonna turn against you.
They ain't gonna be your friends in that day because everybody gonna be looking to take care of themselves and their own family. Like that one scene in the Leave the World Behind, that man, he's trying to get help for his son. Where all his teeth start falling out and all that shit.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, he's trying to get help for his son, and he went to his old friend's house. And he knocked on the door. His friend came out with a gun and whatnot. He's pretty much saying that he pretty much telling his friend like, "Hey, my son needs help. Can you help him out?" Yada yada yada. Then his friend was pretty much saying, well, this is the new world now. That was the old world. We was friends in the old world. Pretty much saying they're like, hey, I can't help you. So these are the times that we're coming into.
That's
You
it.
know, it's gonna get very rough out here, man. Friends gonna turn on each other.
Yep.
People gonna show forth,
That savagery,
savage like nature. It's gonna be
beast
crazy.
nature.
Huh.
It's gonna be crazy out here, man.
Huh. When people, it's a saying that when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. And these are the times that we're coming into, man. People are gonna lose it. People are just gonna, hey, it's every man for themselves.
That's it.
Literally.
And that's what's getting ready to happen now. If you had anything else, Soccer, or was that it?
Not on that.
Okay. All right, can you get First Kings 16, 31 and 32, and then Numbers 25, 1 and 3? Because I wanted to make this quick point, brothers and sisters, because while everybody is distracted, man, when you paid attention to what was going on in the Olympics, and now Trump is trying to build this quote unquote arc, this triumph arc, and I'm going to show y'all that the Ark of Baal was in cities like London, New York City, Washington, D.C., and now Donald Trump is trying to bring it back. And now like he wants to call on top Lady Liberty. Is what we know what we know what that represents. We know that's a representation of Satan and Babylon the Great. But Donald Trump want to call it. I want a representation of Lady Liberty, and we're gonna build it. This will be a represent for the 250th birthday. But what Trump is trying to do, man, he's trying to bring back that Ark of Baal, man, which most people don't understand what the Ark of Baal goes back to, man. The Ark of Baal goes back to child sacrifice, man. They would sacrifice their children, and they would sacrifice humans unto their god Baal or Satan, man. So they're flat out telling you, all right, who their god is, man, because they know most people aren't reading their Bible, man. They know most people don't care about the scriptures, man. When you look at the world today, most of these people, most people think that the Bible is fairy tales, man. They think that all this stuff is just crazy conspiracy theories, man. That's why they're getting away with the things that they're doing, man. All right. And then another thing y'all gotta understand is that that the Most High, the Illuminati or the Satanists on the left-handed side, they can't do this without the Most High's permission. That's what y'all gotta remember, because the only way that these Satanists could do it is if they make a covenant with death. That's why the scriptures say, in what was it, Isaiah? What was it, the 15th? It talk about how if you make a covenant with death, the Lord is going to allow, he's going to give you basically over into the hands of the Satanists, and they're going to sacrifice you, man. All right? And that's why you see the things, that's why you see what's going on, man. Abortions, black babies, we went over it, 13 million a year, man. And then they promote the alphabet lifestyle, man. All right, to destroy the black community. That's what they're doing, man. It's all an offer to their god Baal, man. That's what they're doing, and they're flaunting and showing it throughout the whole world, man. But nobody is paying attention, man. And they know most people ain't gonna read their Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? Most people ain't gonna call out the evil, man. All right, but and the Lord said that very soon, man, all these graven images, all right, like you see these obelisks and these you know that you see, all the Lord said all of that is going to be destroyed, man, when he comes back, man. All right, go ahead, and this will go over, so you brothers and sisters can understand the history of the Ark of Baal, what they call it, the Palamaya, I think they called it. Go ahead, First Kings 16 and 31 and 32, and then Numbers 25 and 1 through 3.
Says First Kings chapter 16, verse 31.
Go ahead,
And it says, and it came to pass as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of
Jezebel,
Ethbaal, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshipped him. And
what did he do?
And he reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria.
That's right. And see that, and that goes into that Ark of Baal. Now, give me Numbers 25 and 1 through 3. Because see, when you brothers and sisters understand like that they built these altars, what you would call your modern day Ark of Baal. All right, they would sacrifice children and they would sacrifice people. This is how the elites get their power. When it comes to your Kabbalists like Madonna, Britney Spears and Angelina Jolie, how you think they get their power from, man? Sacrifice these shit. Why and not notice when you see them black children they be with, notice every time they go to Africa, they end up go missing and you never see or hear from them again. That's child sacrifice that they doing, man.
Then to add on to what you just said, this is how you know the scriptures are true. When you read Isaiah chapter 47, it talks about, and it goes into the destruction of America, Babylon the Great. In Isaiah chapter 47, it says, stand now with thine enchantments, O daughter of Babylon, roughly paraphrasing. So they let you know that, the way that these elites of America and all that, the way they get their power is off their sorceries and their witchcraft and their enchantments. So that's why I said stand now with thine enchantments, because America is built off of that.
Yep, it's built off of witchcraft and Satanism, man.
So you said Numbers what?
Numbers 25 and 1 through 3. And this will even let you brothers and sisters know that even the heathens are dealing with this, man. That's why the Lord told us not to worship and serve them gods, the gods that the heathens be dealing with. Because this is what the heathens be dealing with. But they got our people doing this, man. Go ahead, Doc.
So this is Numbers chapter 25, starting verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And it says, and Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab.
Yep.
And they called the people unto
the so-called Chinese. Go ahead.
It says they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods.
Yep, the sacrificing of their gods. See that? Their gods. Go ahead.
It says, and the people did eat and bowed down to their gods. And this kind of off topic, but it's kind of made me peep something. Because you notice how I said they committed whoredom with the daughters of Moab. All right? You got a lot of people that try to say, and it's going to ruffle a lot of y'all feathers, but I truly don't care. It is what it is. We got to go off of what the scriptures say rather than truth. You got to go off of truth rather than what y'all feel. Because you got a lot of different Israelite groups that say, oh, you're not supposed to deal with the other nations of women, this, that, and another. But Peacock said, it says they committed whoredom with the daughters of Moab. It's not necessarily considered whoredom to deal with a woman from another nation. It's what you're doing with them. All right. And the next verse tells you exactly what they did. It says, and they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. All right? Yep. That's where that whoredom comes in. That's the spiritual whoredom. Yep. All right. Dealing with another nation, dealing with a woman from another nation is not whoredom within itself. It's not a sin. You can do that. All right. You can have concubines. Israelite men can deal with women from other nations. Men just got to deal with Israelite women. It's considered spiritual whoredom when you start dealing with these other nations, gods and all that. That's what King Solomon he had got into. That was his downfall. It wasn't because he was dealing with other nations and women and all that. It was because of what he did. All right. So this kind of made me think of something. That just kind of stood out to me because a lot of Israelite groups they'll say that's a sin to deal with women from other nations. It's not. All right. But verse 3, it says, and Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. All right, so
right, because they were worshiping and serving other guys. To get Exodus 34 and 13 real quick. I'm gonna try and show the it's gonna be quick too. But see, that goes to show you, man, that hey, man, the Lord was pissed, man, because they were worshiping and serving these other guys, man. But see, that they're trying to bring back what they did, what they were doing back then. They're trying to bring it again today, man. All right, with this Ark of Baal, because people don't understand the history of the Ark of Baal, but now you know the history. Child sacrifice, human sacrifice to Baal. And the Lord was against that, man. The Lord told us not to do that, man. But see, because these heathens, man, indoctrinated us that this is the way, or this is what you should do. This is how people got caught up, man. Just like back during in the time, like, You know how they got our people thinking that it's okay to abort their babies, man, because they were programmed to, man, but they didn't understand that that was an act of sacrifice to Molech, man, and that was against Yahweh Shem Shai. But see, Esau Edom had it planned all along, man, and he knew most people were gonna do it, man, because this was their goal and plan all along, man. And this is where you get the depopulation, man. And that massive ritual that they did during the C19 demic, all right, that was a massive ritual, man. Because remember, you had what's her name, Mark, for Northern Kingdom, Mariah Carey. She promoted that massive ritual.
I think she do. She is her mother is Edomite, and her dad is so-called black man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she Eve. Okay. But a lot of Northern Kingdom and Jake and Eve listen to her, and she promote that massive ritual death. You know what, man? Okay, and we know during the Georgia Guidestones what their blueprint was as far as depopulation. They know they had to create all this alphabet life, turn people, turn the men into women and this men and men, and then women with women, and turn the women into men, because all that is depopulation, man, and it's against the Bible, man. And they know you can't produce having children with no woman and woman and men and men. But this is what the devil creates and tells you that and programs you to think that this can happen when it damn show cannot happen, man. Absolutely not, man. But see, that also goes into that form of Satanism, man. But you see that they're pushing it throughout the whole world. And then the thing is, they're distracting the people so you won't know, man. But see, while people are distracted, look at what Donald Trump is putting up, and then you can read out Exodus chapter, because I know how long we got.
Yeah, 42.
Oh, okay. So we could just hurry up, and I'll just read, and then you can close it. All right, let me get this up. And Salaki, brothers and sisters, if we would have had more time, we would have. All right, here we go. So this is what the Ark of Baal is supposed to look like, for you brothers and sisters that don't know. All right, here it is. Contributed to this, and it looked just like the Ark of Baal too. You're really here because you've contributed to this incredible building that people have wanted for so many years. And we show another building. It's an ark. President Donald Trump unveiled plans to build a large arch across the Potomac River from the Lincoln Memorial to mark the 250th anniversary of American independence next year. As president, he has taken on a number of projects, including redoing the Rose Garden and undertaking efforts to build a new ballroom in the White House. The top White House official says the arch was Trump's design. Trump previously shared a sketch on social media. This is just a model of what it would look like in either of the three, any of the three sizes, which is right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's sort of, that's Lady Liberty. The announcement came at a dinner thanking donors for their contributions to building a new ballroom for the White House. And then let me, okay, here it is. France's. All right, and this is what the Triumph to celebrate and commemorate our nation's 250th anniversary. The proposed site is at a roundabout near the Arlington Memorial Bridge. It will be privately funded. No word yet on the cost. Interested, privately funded. I wonder who funded that. I wonder if the Satanists and the witches funded that. And then let's see. So y'all can see that it happened during a while back. Real quick. All right, here we go. It was in Dubai. Okay, here we go. Ancient temple of Baal. You know, the gateway that was lit up blood red in London during Passover and has since been erected in New York and Dubai. Pictured here in Dubai with a lady from the International Monetary Fund. So now you brothers and sisters can get an understanding of what it really looks like and what it is. But see, while that's going on, they got y'all caught up in the Epstein files, man. See what I'm saying? Distraction. But they letting you know, okay? See, look at that. The Ark of Baal with the Baphomet symbol. Letting you they're flat out telling you with the fire, man. They flat out they telling you. They letting so they letting it be known. But now you sincere brothers and sisters understand the history of what the Ark of Baal really was and what it symbolizes. Now, this is what the Lord said He gonna do to all those idols, whether it be the Ark of Baal, the obelisk, okay, whether it be all these so-called gods and goddesses. You see, this is what these Egyptian sphinxes you see. This is what the Lord said He gonna do to all that. Matter of fact, I'm I'm sure He gonna use His elect to tear it down. But go ahead,
Exodus chapter 34.
13.
All right, so this Exodus chapter 34, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
It says, "But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves."
You see that? You shall destroy their altars, cut down their groves, man. You know what I'm saying? That goes into their these gods and goddesses and these idols, man.
You actually read verse 14 too. It says,
"Oh, yeah, go ahead."
Verse 14 says, "For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord,
That's it.
Is a jealous power."
So you got to understand the Lord is a jealous power, man. So you shouldn't worship no other God, man. Ain't no Egyptology, okay? Ain't no you know what I'm saying, whether it be Buddha or Shiva or Kali or whatever god or goddess y'all be worshiping. And the main demon god, Baphomet, man. Y'all should worship any of those gods, man. You should be, the only God you should be worshiping is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. That's it.
Because think about it. The scriptures say that, the nation of Israel is likened unto a beautiful woman, and the nation of Israel is the Lord's wife. The scripture just said the Lord is a jealous power. So if we are here, dealing with other so-called gods,
how you think the Lord gonna feel about that?
If we're the Lord's wife, He's gonna be jealous. Just like if we have a woman and we see our here flirting with another man and all that.
We're gonna be angry. Yeah. That's how the Lord gonna feel, man.
The scriptures say jealousy is the rage of a man that he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Roughly paraphrased.
Yep. So what you think the Lord gonna do, man?
Exactly.
You worshiping other
gods.
That's
why these curses came upon us, man. That's why we went through slavery. So on and so forth. That's why we at the bottom of society right now. As a nation of people.
That's it.
Because we made the Lord jealous. We started serving and worshiping idols.
Yep.
Right after the Lord said, "Don't do it," guess what we did out there in the wilderness?
We did it.
We built the damn golden calf.
Yep, and we was dancing and cutting ourselves to the guy. And Moses was pissed. He was like, "All right, I'm sick of this, man.
Right.
Y'all gonna have a choice to make. Y'all either serve Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, or my service that will stand for the Lord is gonna unalive y'all, man. So choose ye this day which God y'all gonna serve, man. All right. And but you see, man, that's what's going on. Now let's. Did you have anything, God? Because I know we get into the. Okay, yeah, because I know. All right, so I'll just get one more scripture since we ain't got that much time left. If we had more time, I would go like fully in. So can you just we'll just get a few more scriptures. And brothers and sisters, I wanted to make this last point so y'all can understand. Let's get Saint Matt. Matter of fact, yeah, let's get Mark chapter 14 and verse 18, and then Matthew chapter 26, and then that's it.
Mark chapter 14, verse 18.
Yep.
So it's Mark chapter 14, verse 18.
And this is what's gonna happen, brothers and sisters. So I want you, brothers and sisters, to understand that as followers of Yahweh Shai and Mashiach, you're going to be betrayed. All right? It's gonna be people that know that they're Israelites, whether they proclaim to be Israelites, and whether you thought they was at your best interest, man. They're gonna sell you out, man, and they're gonna show their true colors, man. Just like when Judas betrayed Yahweh Shai. I know people ain't gonna want to hear this, but this is the true fact, man. Go ahead.
This is Mark chapter 14, verse 18.
Yep, 18.
It says, "And as they sat and did eat, Yahweh Shai said, Verily I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me."
That's right. And we gonna find out that I got give Matthew 26, and then read verse 1 through 4, and then jump to, because we're gonna go quick, jump to 14. Yeah, jump to 14 and 16. Because y'all gonna find out who betrayed Yahweh Shai.
So this is Matthew
Uh-huh.
And it says, and it came to pass when Yahweh Shai had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, ye know that 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified.
Yep. And we
Then
gonna find who's got Yahweh Shai betrayed. Go ahead.
it says, then assembled together the chief priests and the
Yep.
scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest,
Yep.
who was called Caiaphas.
Yep.
And they consulted that they might take Yahweh Shai by subtlety and kill him.
Yep. Exactly.
He said, jump down to verse 14.
Yep. And we gonna find out who got Yahweh Shai killed, man.
Verse 14, it says, and one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot,
Yep.
went unto the chief priests and said unto them, will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time, he saw opportunity to betray him.
Uh-huh. And then jump to the where Yahweh Shai said, woe unto that person. It'd be better if he weren't born. I believe that's verse 24. And then that's it. And then, I'll break it down for you, brothers and sisters. But
It says, verse 24, it says, the Son of Man goeth as it was written of him, but woe unto that man by whom
destruction
the Son
under
of Man
that
is
person.
betrayed.
Yep.
It had been good for that man if he had not been born.
Whoo! See that? It had been better if that person had not been born, man. So you see how the Lord was pissed, man. But you got to understand, brothers and sisters, in these last days, when they get rid of the dollar, okay, when they lock down and usher in this 2.0 demic again, it's going to be a lot of Israelites that you thought once had your back and that even knew, and they're going to be the main ones to sell you out, man. They're going to get you, whether they get you killed, thrown in the guillotine FEMA camp. Hey, remember Judas, man. Okay? If we're going to be followers of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, we gonna be betrayed, man. And truth be told, brothers and sisters, I know brothers and sisters ain't gonna want to hear this and it's gonna hurt them, but yes, it's true. It's gonna be people that were brothers and it's gonna be people that you thought were brothers and sisters in this thing, but were in it to sell you out and to get you killed and got paid money to sell you out. It's not just your family and your friends, because we understand that they are the world. But we talking about people that are Israelites that know that they're Israelites. They're gonna sell you out when the pressure is on. I'm telling y'all, a lot they're gonna fold under pressure. They're gonna say, well, where was that brother at? Oh, he was right there. He was over there. Where was that sister at? Oh, she was over here. I'm telling you, for you sincere brothers and sisters, so when that day comes, don't be surprised and be prepared when it happens, man. Just remember what Yahweh Shai Amashiach had to endure. Yahweh Shai already knew. He already knew it. Go ahead, huh?
That's part of bearing your cross. The scriptures say that we got to bear our cross and pick up our cross the same way that Yahweh Shai had to. And he had to literally bear his cross. He had to, pick up his cross, so on and so forth, carry it, but we have to do it as well in a spiritual aspect. We're going to have to deal with a lot of the same things that, Yahweh Shai dealt with. Betrayal, people hating us, disliking us, so on and so forth.
Yep.
This is part of this will come with the territory, so to speak. This will come with it. That's why the scriptures say, count the cost. And that's part of the cost of coming into this truth. You're gonna be betrayed, hated,
Yep.
people turning against you, man.
That's it.
So kind of you got anything else?
Nope. That's it with that one.
So we're gonna close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Like we always say, repent, turn back to your how about you now shop before it's too late.
Yes,
And we
sir.
are at the end of this empire.
This kingdom.
This empire, it's 250 years.
And you see Trump trying to build the Ark of Baal. And y'all understand the history of it. But see, they got to get you caught up in these distractions with the Epstein file while they're getting ready to usher in another demic and lockdowns and draconian measures. But they got to keep you distracted. All right, go ahead. That's it.
Like I was saying, this empire, is now 250 years old. It'll officially be 250 years old. This coming July, July 4th, because that marks the so-called independence, of America and all that. 1776. It'll be 250 years. When you look at statistics, most empires or kingdoms don't last longer than 250 years, or it ends somewhere around that time frame. So we're not saying that this is the year that this place is gonna fall.
Con.
But we are indeed seeing the fall of this place.
Yep.
So with that being said, it's time for you Israelites out there to repent, and be on your P's and Q's, man. Walk on eggshells.
And watch what's going on. Pay attention to what's really going on. Don't be caught up in distractions and BS. Know what's going on for real.
This is it, man. The Lord, He's gonna close those doors of mercy very soon.
Yep.
Very soon. So repent, turn back to Yahweh, now shower, you got the chance.
That's it.
Lord willing, this lesson is edifying, and as always, we'll give all praises, honor, and glory.
Until Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
For giving us this lesson, and shalom to the hopeful elect.
Kwam Yasharal.